Doomslayer, come on, wake up, go kill some demons. Yeah, that's about all intro you really need here. Alright, so Doomslayer gets up, gets suited up, and tries to get damage ports, but it's not working out very well. Some satellites needs to be realigned, and as that's happening, some guy named Sam Hayden just decides to try to get some exposition. So Doomslayer, not a fan of shit not working and exposition, smashes the damn screen. Well, time to go face the demon apocalypse and fix the satellite to find the source. Now Doomslayer here, he can take on the demon apocalypse with just a basic pistol, but that wouldn't be as fun. So he grabs a combat shotgun and meets a nice imp who volunteers to be shot with it. Seriously, what did this imp think was going to happen? As they're clearing out a room and entering an elevator to the surface, Sam tries to talk more, taking responsibility for what's happening with some exposition, but Doomslayer isn't much a fan of a story, so he smashes the damn comm. I'm going to tell you the story anyways, but like Doomslayer, I'm more interested in the guns. Now, I've already talked about the pistol and combat shotgun, but I'll elaborate a bit. The pistol is the least damaging weapon in the game, and since it has infinite ammo, it's best used to not waste ammo on the possessed unwilling. They're basically just fodder enemies. Just pop their heads off. Though charging it up can stagger an imp for a glory kill. Oh, right, glory kills. When a demon gets staggered, you can melee and get animation where you kill it, and it drops in health. Now the combat shotgun. It's the most basic other than the pistol, and super satisfying to use. A point-blank shot will stagger an imp if it doesn't kill unless you shoot in the head, and this is the first weapon you can get a mod, or attachment for, whatever you want to call it. This and every other weapon with mods has two. The combat shotgun has the explosive shot and the charged burst. The explosive shot is a grenade launcher attachment. The charge shot lets you shoot the shotgun 3 times in a quick burst.
I have no idea why you do this over the grenade launcher. For me, hitting a demon directly with this thing is the most satisfying thing in the game.
I mean, you do get frag grenades, but it's just not as fun. Probably because they don't detonate on impact. The next weapon is the plasma rifle. It's a secret when you get it, but its default is bound to 3, while the non-secret gun is bound to 4. So I'm going to talk about the plasma rifle first. The plasma rifle is the gun that the possessed soldiers used, but since you don't have the power of demon energy, you'll have to use normal ammo. Not to be confused with the possessed security that uses a shield and shotgun. The two mods for this weapon are the stun gun and the heat blast. The stun bomb stuns demons and has a cooldown period between shots. Heat blast lets you build up heat by shooting and allows you to send an AoE blast to damage demons. My preference is the heat blast because I have monkey brain, like seeing a bunch of demons take damage. That describes all my weapon preferences, probably. Alright, so the fourth gun is the heavy assault rifle. It feels like a typical FPS gun, which means there's not much to say about it. It shoots bullets, that's always a good feeling. Its mods are the tactical scope, which gives you a scope, and the micro missiles, which lets you shoot micro missiles. Not creative with descriptions here. This might surprise you, but I like the scope. It feels really satisfying to zoom in on a demon and shoot it more accurately. Now we get the rocket launcher. It's hard to describe things as names does it already. For this, we have the remote detonation and the lock-on burst. Remote detonation lets the rocket be detonated midair rather than on impact, and lock-on burst lets you lock onto demons and shoot 3 missiles at them. I feel like remote detonation is better, but I hit myself too many times with it to use it, so I use a lock-on burst for my own safety. The most iconic weapon in the Doom series is Super Shotgun. Doomslayer's double barrel companion doesn't need any modifications. It's already powerful without them anyways. Next comes the Gauss Cannon. This huge thing shoots a plasma blast that kills a lot of lesser demons in one hit. It also has some self knockback when fired in midair. It can be used for platforming, but no useful examples come to mind. It's martial the precision bolt, which adds a scope and a more powerful precise shot. And Siege Mode that has even more powerful shot, but requires a charge up. I use the precision bolt because scoping feel good, and Siege Mode stops your movement on its charge up, and I don't like movement restrictions. After that comes the chain gun. It shoots bullets faster than the assault rifle. That's about much description as it can give it. As martial the Gatling rotator, allowing you to spin the barrel without firing, and mobile turn, which lets you shoot bullets even faster, but it overheats. Finally, you have the BFG 9000, or the Big Fucking Gun 9000. It's basically a big fuck you to demons. Shooting a shot of energy with tendrils that seek them out and damages them as the main shot flies across the battlefield. Plus it stuns bosses and lets you get health from shooting them as they're stunned. The main shot kills every non-boss demon in one shot and is the most powerful gun in the game. Doomslayer also has equipment, the frag grenade as mentioned earlier, holograms as a distraction, and the siphon grenade which steals health from demons. The chainsaw uses fuel to instantly glory kill demons, forcing them to drop ammunition, of which there are 4 kinds: shotgun shells, bullets, plasma cells, and rockets. Rockets are exclusive to rocket launchers, while the others are shared between a gun and its heavy counterparts. To make your arsenal more powerful, we can gain weapon points from combat ratings, basically killing all demons in a level, dueling challenges, or finding secrets. Once all the upgrades are gotten, you get a mastery challenge to unlock the last upgrade for each weapon mod, or just the weapon itself if it doesn't have mods. There's also Praetor suit tokens, the equivalent for the Praetor suits, to gain perks. They're chips from elite guard corpses. In case you're wondering, they're either dead, they're killed by a Lazarus wave that doubles as a kill switch for them. What's a Lazarus wave? I have no clue. Secrets range in quality. Some are just resource drops, some are upgrades. There are 2 collectibles in each level that correspond to game models,
and a hidden classic map that can be revealed in each level, which can be later played from the main menu.
Alright, I guess we can take a break from the gameplay to talk about the story. We'll start with a bit of backstory, specifically Samuel Hayden. And yes, I've played Doom Eternal, and I know there's more to his backstory, but we'll keep it to the info we know from this game. Samuel Hayden was a human genius businessman, and I say human because, I mean, look at him, he's a robot. He was born into a rich and powerful family. He founded his own organization that finances science students and programs. This got the attention of the UAC. When Origin Energy was discovered on Mars, he was given charge and built the facilities we see now. When he was given 6 months to live due to stage 4 brain cancer, he transferred his consciousness to a 3-meter tall, or 9'8" tall robot body, giving him quasi-immortality. He also created Vega, an AI that basically runs the place, and yes, there's more to his backstory, but we're not going to talk about that. He is extremely powerful, more powerful than other AI, which he should be since he's in charge of the main power source of planet Earth. It's considered autonomous, the first of its kind. It runs on Origin Energy. Oh, did I mention that Origin Energy comes from hell? That's partially why the demons are here. The final character, and only human alive, is Olivia Pierce, Samuel Hayden's second in command. She's a genius in her own right and the founder of another company that gave her plenty of wealth and power that she left to be head of the project at the UAC under Samuel Hayden. She has a robot exoskeleton due to acute idiopathic scoliosis, putting her in a wheelchair otherwise. During her time, Olivia made a deal with the devil, literally, and started a cult within the UAC, studying, experimenting on, and augmenting demons with tech known as Lazarus Project. She's the one responsible for starting the demon invasion of Mars, starting a Lazarus hell wave, killing the elite guards and any civilians assuming they weren't turned into possessed, and finally releasing whatever demons she had captive. Now this is where we are. Once we get the satellite aligned, Hayden blocks us from seeing data about the invasion until we have a chat with him. There he introduces us to Argent cells. This is how you get more health, armor, and increased ammo capacity. After getting a damage report, we learn that Olivia has started a meltdown in the foundry. This is also where the combat rating is introduced. At its end, we get a face-to-face with Olivia through some bulletproof glass. We also encounter 2 new guys, the Hellraisers, who behave a lot like possessed soldiers except with a laser, and Hell Knights, who chase you down to melee you. To pass this mission, we need to get rid of 4 gore nests, things that create a connection to Hell, and summon demons on their destruction, to unlock the area that allows us to stop the meltdown. Now that we've stopped the meltdown, Olivia has gone to the next of her plan. She's going to overload Argent Tower, the place where Argent Tower is produced and transported for use on Earth. Once the tower is overloaded, it will rip open a portal to Hell, allowing more demons to flood onto Mars. We're tasked with shutting down production.
We're only temporarily disabling the tower. You need to remove each lens individually. Carefully release the hinges.
Warning. Energy contamination detected.
Destroying the production of Argent Energy isn't necessary.
Here we get our first rune trial. These trials unlock a rune that gives us a prize ability after completing its trial. We also first meet the Summoner. This demon floats in the air, launching hell waves in, as the name implies, summons demons. We successfully stopped Olivia from overloading the tower and destroyed Argent Energy production, and possibly creating an energy crisis on Earth to stop a demon invasion. Honestly, a good trade. Although Olivia does have a backup plan, she plans to use an accumulator at the top of the tower and open a portal and start the invasion that way. We'll have to scale the tower and stop her from doing so.
During this mission, we're introduced to the Revenant.
These demons are equipped with a jetpack and 2 shoulder-mounted launchers. They're one of the more bulkier demons. If you go to the Doom 2016 sound check on YouTube, which is fire by the way, and go to 1 hour 6 minutes and 6 seconds, or 66 minutes and 6 seconds in, a Revenant appears playing the trumpet. It's just something that's neat and wanted to share. And also because you need to go fucking listen to this soundtrack because I'm not goddamn playing it because copyright. I'm pretty sure I won't get striked, but I just don't want to deal with it. You also get jump boots that allows a double jump after this encounter. After making it to the main tower portion of the tower, we meet the Mancubus. This demon has dual flamethrowers and extremely deadly up close. He can also shoot fire from a distance. Lessons in scaling, you get to the top of the tower too late. Olivia has opened a portal and summoned demons from Hell, which also teleports us into Hell. Here we get to see the excursion into Hell that allowed the UAC to recover the Slayer. Oh, right. There's these hologram things that show up that operate like flashbacks to get the Slayer information of past events. The excursion also gives the game an excuse to use the green indicators it's been using to tell you where to go, so that's nice. The green indicators contrast well with the red dominant palette of the game, and it gives us an idea where to go if we ever get lost or what we can climb. This green indicator I don't get, right? Because, I mean, it's telling you can climb up here, but there's really not... See? Like, you can get up here, but there's really no reason to do so. This is where we first meet the Kaku demon, the floating heads who spit at you and deal a lot of damage from their bites. We also meet another floating head enemy, the Lost Souls. They just kind of fly toward you screaming. Next we meet the Barons of Hell. They're like Hell Knights, but with the ability to shoot green fireballs at you. The mission ends with the teleporter that originally took the Slayer from Hell with Hayden, the only survivor of the expedition that retrieved him. Hayden confirms this during the starting conversation with the next level. The current mission we have is to get to Olivia's office to get more information on what they're going to do to close the portal opened by her. In Olivia's office is the Helix Stone, which tells us what to get and where to get it to close the portal. Our current objective is to get into a tram to that facility, but first we need to find the card to get onto the tram. You also get to meet the Pinky. They're dinosaur-looking things that definitely have the brain of one since it charges at you. Its face is armored, so it hurts, and you want to shoot it in its not-so-armored tail.
Also, Pinky is Ian, the guy who has the key card.
I think the Pinky might have choked on him or something. I'm not sure why he's dead. Oh, in later levels we also find the Spectre, but other than their invisibility, they're no different from normal Pinkies. Now we're in the Advanced Research Complex, and one step closer to the stone. But first, Samuel wants to be in person.
Save your ammunition.
After that's done, we head out and meet the Cybermancubus. This guy shoots toxins that stick around on surfaces at the cost of its fire-using capabilities. Also, with this rune secret here, behind the crates, there's an arcade mission. Now, we have a new level here, and we have to get to another elevator to actually get to the office. We went from one facility, got onto a tram, went onto another facility, got into an elevator, and now we're in another facility, and we're trying to get to an elevator to Olivia's office. Once we get to Olivia's office, we get to play match 3 and learn from the Helix Stone that we must recover the Crucible. We will have to go to hell to get it, and we can use an Argent Cumulator to transport us later. Luckily, there's one nearby. It's in the chest of this Cyber Demon. His attack pattern's obvious to deal with, so I'm not really going to explain too much. Once you rip the accumulator of his chest, however, you are transported to hell, and this demon gets a second wind. And he just gained this new ability where he summons like a column of stone or whatever to trap you, but they collapse, and you just kind of normalize to that. Oh, and you get 5 weapon points for beating him and every other boss. At this point, you know the basis of the game and have your arsenal, so there's not much to say. There is another boss, the Hell Guards, where you pick up this Crucible, but honestly, the bosses in this game aren't really that interesting to talk about. I mean, they're great and really fun to fight, but I don't find them all that interesting to talk about. Anyway, you get the Crucible and then pull back to Mars, specifically where Vega's system resides. Unfortunately for Vega, we're going to use the explosion caused by destroying his core to transport us through the part of Hell that allows us to close the portal. Once you get to the end of this level, the Slayer makes sure to save a backup copy of Vega before destroying him. The final level takes place in Hell, the place where the UAC siphons Argent Plasma to make into Argent Energy. You can use the Crucible on the race to shut down the production of this source of energy. What are rates? Okay, time for a bad backstory? Yes, I've waited until the last mission to give more backstory. The game waits to do it, so why shouldn't I? The Wraiths were elemental beings who inhabited Argent Nur, and were worshipped as gods by the people there. The Night Sentinels were a group of fierce warriors from this world that served as the protectors. The Wraiths, despite being worshipped and protected, were a constant threat and great source of power for the people of Argent Nur. Therefore, the Night Sentinels were warriors to protect others from them and as priests to worship them. At some point, Hell set their sights on this land and wanted to conquer it, though they were losing the battle due to the Sentinels and the Wraiths. The Hell priest De Grav convinced the Night Sentinel, referred to as the Betrayer, to take him to the Wraiths as they slept. There he corrupted them and used their powers to form their well. The Betrayer was promised his son, who had died in battle, to be resurrected. Unfortunately for him, Hell doesn't play fair in the dealings, and his son was resurrected as the icon of sin, which was unleashed onto Argent Nur and the Night Sentinels. With that, Argent Nur fell and was absorbed into Hell. Even though demons captured and were defeated by the people of Argent Nur, there's one man, of course, that no demon could defeat. Wearing the helm of the Night Sentinels, one man walked Hell, hunting down the Dark Lords that made the mistake of crossing him. The one the demons referred to as the Doom Slayer. I wish I had a cooler voice. Okay, a hooded figure known as a Seraphim blessed the Slayer with even more strength and speed to continue his conquest. The Doom Slayer became the boogeyman of Hell, an unrelenting force that every demon knew was coming for them. Not even a Titan known as the Great One, that was mightier than all those that he had faced before him, could stop him. During his fighting, he found someone only referred to as the Wretch, as he's been given the Voldemort treatment, who provided the Slayer with his Praetor suits. This is either a character we never meet or is referenced again, or possibly the Betrayer, but it being the Betrayer is speculation on my part. I can't think of anyone else in Hell that would ally with the Slayer, but it could be some other character. The suit also seems to have human markings, so the suit could just been a modified or enhanced by the Wretch. Perhaps whatever armor the Slayer was wearing was turned into the Praetor suits, but that's just more speculation. After vanquishing the Great One at some point, the Slayer continued hunting. He was drawn to the Blood Keep, where he was tricked by the priest into the sarcophagus that Samuel Hayden retrieves from him. Samuel hid him and the sarcophagus from those in the UAC suspecting Pierce's treachery. There he was kept unconscious, protected by unknown Argent forces, until he was awoken at the start of the game. Alright, back to the present. After you shut down the well and find Olivia, who has been then subsequently turned into Spider Mastermind,
They promised me so much.
so if you actually read the... Oh wow, this is the first time I died to that. This is honestly the first time I died to the spider boss from a melee hit. But if you actually read the text logs, it turns out Olivia was actually promised godhood, right? And if you read it, and of course if you read the other text log about the Spider Mastermind, you find out this is actually the form of a god. So technically speaking, Hell did fulfill its promise, but as always, it's not really as... I don't think it's as they suspected. Yeah, so don't make deals with the devil is essentially the point. Once she's defeated, Samuel Hayden summons you back to Mars and tells you that he's going to use a crucible to keep Argent energy production going, and you're obviously going to try to get in the way of that. So he sends you away and ends the game, setting up the sequel. This game honestly feels different coming back from Doom Eternal, but it's still a lot of fun. It's hard to describe the enjoyment that you get from playing Doom, because it's more of an intrinsic feeling of completing a mission, completing a level, killing all the demons, getting through all the things, and just feeling like a goddamn badass. It's all it really takes. The shooting feels good, killing demons is satisfying, glory kills just are amazing and fantastic to look at. It is a great job of creating a challenge and then the amazing feeling of overcoming said challenge, which makes it kind of hard to communicate, as it's kind of something you have to experience to understand. Much like all games, honestly. And that kind of generalizes to all games. It's just that Doom is the game for me where it's the hardest, because it feels like it's solely, the enjoyment is solely based on the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of being challenged. So I guess that's all I can really say about that. Hope you enjoyed watching. I think, you know what, I probably should put some thought in how to say farewell rather than just saying bye, but until then, bye. At the end of my last video, I said it would be unlikely that I'd make another video, but I ended up doing so anyways. Of course, I don't know why I bother bringing it up, because it only has like 2 views at the time of me recording this, but I do think it's fully mentioned in the case that something does happen and people do watch this video and that video, but yeah, I don't know. It feels wrong to not mention it. Of course they didn't, I know they didn't watch like all the way through, because you can actually see how long people actually watched in the analytics, and the furthest one got was a 21-second mark. So I don't really, but I get it. I didn't really have a very good hook at the start of that video, and they probably heard my voice and were like, ew, and then clicked off. It happens. That's how it is. I still enjoyed making the video. I enjoyed making this one as well, strangely enough. I think the fact that I didn't have a very clear sign for which one, the way I wanted this video to go, might have helped it a bit, because I do feel like I did a bit more, even though it might have just been like from the codex pages, and so I'd have a source for what I was saying. And a lot of the story in Doom is kind of not what you're playing, but rather what happened in the codex pages, because Doom is more about the gameplay rather than the story, so makes sense. Now that I actually know that I kind of enjoy content creation, I probably am going to make more videos. I have ideas. I actually have ideas for 2 videos. Well, idea of what I want the videos on. One is going to be what I've been doing, and then the second one I think is just going to be like kind of like a long playthrough of the game, because I don't know how to make this style of video for that game, but I don't want to promise anything. And I feel like if I named what the subjects were, that it might be a promise. And I still don't know if I'm going to be doing this. So that's how it is right now. Thanks for watching if you did watch. Bye.